Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Force Chatter. I'm Eric, and I've got my hosts with me here, Tim, Lou, and Tom. But as you notice, there's an extra video screen here, and I am very proud to welcome as our guest for this evening, Kenny from Light My Bricks. Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
And you are in now. Correct me because I'm a silly American, and my friend in Sydney corrects me on things all the time. Is it Melbourne or Melbourne?
Well, it depends who's saying it. So
we want to do it right.
I say Melbourne.
Melbourne. Okay. Oh, okay.
Australian accent, right? So if I was to be American, I'll probably say Melbourne.
A lot of Americans here say Melbourne because there's the O-U-R. Yeah, we say a lot of things wrong, badly.
I try not to anybody, so everyone is different.
That's true.
So you can call it your one. It's fine.
All right, we're going to talk today about something very, very cool. Every now and then we bring in people from the Star Wars community who are doing different things to, shall we say, enhance their involvement in Star Wars, whether it's cosplay or collectibles or whatever it is. And you are the founder of a little website called Light My Bricks that has some absolutely amazing things. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got started in this?
Sure, thanks. I will. So basically, I'm a Lego fan myself. I grew up playing Lego as many people do, but it wasn't until I had kids of my own and I started buying Lego for them and then realized, hey, this is pretty cool. You should let me build it, you know?
Right.
I guess discovered my passion for Lego again. And ever since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with, you know, a miniature Lego house, and as you do, you use your imagination and pretend they're real. I used to put a little flashlight inside the Lego house to pretend someone's at home, or pretend it's on. And then it wasn't until I started building, or collecting these modular buildings originally that Lego had, and then building, and also building like my first Millennium Falcon. And just thinking, there's got to be lights to be put in, there's why haven't Lego really done it? I mean, they experimented. I think they had a few lighting products back in the day, maybe, I don't know, in the 90s or something like that. But you always see in images and videos, Lego kind of commercials or whatever, and you see them with lights, and it's like, hey, hang on a second, when you build it, there's no lights in it. So that's kind of what gave me the idea of experimenting and looking for lighting products. There were fairy lights you can buy, and that does the job, but you want to make every single light part light up, or every single laser cannon do something to I guess enhance it or bring it to life. And so, that's what got me started looking out in the market, looking for small LEDs. And eventually I was able to find LEDs that were able to integrate within the Lego rather than building around it. There were a lot of small lighting products, but you have to, kind of change the aesthetics of the look of the build. You might have to put a light build around it, so it looks kind of clunky and it changes the overall look of it. But so I was able to find LEDs that were tiny enough to integrate with the Lego studs and bricks. And I guess that's how I got started. And I remember lighting my first building and thinking I was able to light every single light piece that was in that design. So that immediately, I guess, brought it to life. And then, I started lighting all these different models and thought, there's got to be other people out there that would definitely are probably experiencing the same thing that I am. Because a lot of people don't have electronics experience, or they don't know how to do it, but they want to. So that's what gave me the whole idea of being able to develop some kind of a kit or a product that goes hand in hand with Lego. There's a lot of people out there who buy Lego to build who aren't so, I guess, have that creative mind, but love to follow instructions. There's something kind of almost therapeutic about following instructions and building and creating something without
There
having
really
to
is.
really.
Plus, it looks nice when you follow the
That's
instructions. When I build it from memory, it looks like crap. So
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
it's better that way.
That's where I thought, if I could create a product that other people could buy and enjoy that kind of process of reading instructions and lighting, it takes all that kind of complexity and anxiousness about dabbling into lighting all out of the way. So that's how I pretty much came up with the idea and got started. And next thing you know, people started following and buying, and I was able to, I guess, repair my relationship with my wife because I was buying too much Lego. It started to become a business.
That's
big
good.
win for me.
You made it a business expense. That is the way to live life, my friend.
I still remember having these arguments with my wife about, oh, can I spend $200 on this Lego set? And we just had 2 kids. My wife wasn't working. She's like, she's thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah, the supporting the economy argument only goes so far. So I tried that.
Exactly. So now there's no argument.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Fine.
And so
it's business.
I'll tell you, I mean, I can personally attest, folks who've been listening to the show know that my wife had gotten me the Cantina, Star Wars Cantina, and which is a really incredible build unto itself, and how it opens up and everything. You have the bar and the booths and all that stuff. And I started looking through for light kits, and I saw yours and like all the pictures that you guys have up of it. The pictures are impressive. It's even more impressive once you actually do it, because it just like turns this model into something completely different. It gives it so much more character and dimension and all that. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Tell you what, Tim, we should get you on our sales staff. That's what we should do. Is this scripted? I didn't pay you to.
I mean, it's not. That. We should point that out. By the way, Kenny hasn't sent us anything. He's not paying us. This is not an endorsement. Right. Our listeners have known for a long time. We only bring people on to talk about their products if they're products we believe in and that we like. So I want to throw that disclaimer out here right now. There's been no money and no products changing hands here. We're talking, but we brought Kenny in because your products sell themselves. You show pictures of it and people say, why doesn't my thing look that awesome? And then they get it because it's a no-brainer. So, you put Tim on your sales staff if you want. I would argue you probably don't even need him. Your stuff just looks awesome. Hey. No. Hush.
And you know what? And then that's kind of what it's all about. And I take a lot of pride in and I love hearing when people like Tim say that about our products, because at the end of the day, it's all about enhancing Lego. It's not the focus. And I have to say that anyone can, and then this is kind of, I guess, in a way, what we kind of focus on is enhancing Lego, bringing Lego to life through lights and sound, rather than it being the focus of that particular product. For example, the Mos Eisley Cantina set, it's one of those sets that when you add lights, it adds a whole dimension. It lifts everything, it brings everything out, and then it makes that, I guess, Lego set a more display worthy, if you will. And I kind of use this example. It's getting that permission from the wife to bring it out of the basement and into the living room when it has lights in it.
Yeah. Well,
as somebody that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so many of these kits are like display worthy, and then this really punches it up.
Yeah.
Like so much. So, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, as somebody who is currently sitting in my basement amongst my Star Wars stuff, that you've achieved the dream, right? I wanted to share a story with you that before we ever talked about reaching out and trying to get you on, when Tim was just about done with the Cantina builds, that he mentioned getting your light kit, and it was like pure excitement. Like he was more excited about the light kit as it was coming together. I don't think you ever told me about the build itself, but you're like describing in intricate detail, like getting this light kit up. And what I love about this is builds like that, in particular, the Death Star that you've got a kit for. It's almost like they're tailor-made for this sort of thing. Like these, I mean, you just see these sets in person. Probably the best example for me is the Vader's Castle, Fortress Vader that you guys have. That set, I can tell you right now, is one that I don't own because it's a cool building and it has a cool story behind it. It's very Star Wars, very Darth Vader, but like you look at it and you're like, it's an okay display piece. But man, with that light kit on it and the lava lit up in the front and just the red lighting of it, it's like you've got a little piece of Rogue One sitting in your room. So I could speak from personal experience. It changed my outlook on certain sets like that, and whether you want to own them, because it suddenly punches up the cool factor.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when we're designing light kits for the various Lego sets. And I have to say, like the way we design it, it's very custom to that set. We're not just going to, necessarily use what we have. And quite often that's how we develop our products. We're actually designing products to specifically suit that set. And we do find a lot of the times we're hesitant to release a light kit for it, but then sometimes when we light it up, it's like we think to ourselves, I'm actually going to go out and buy that Lego set itself now, because it's, when you see lights to that particular set, it kind of makes it a whole lot more interesting. And we find a lot of customers buy Lego or buy that particular set just to put the lighting in it. And then that's the beauty of it, and that's what we really enjoy.
In a second here, we're going to actually put some of the stuff on the website up here on the screen. Lou, do you have the show notes open right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we got some questions in there we wanted to throw at Kenny, right? Some really tough one. I think there's some math in there too, hopefully. Some calculus.
There's math in here? Oh, I don't know about math.
Maybe some world history. I don't know.
I had a question as you're... Oh, go ahead.
No, go Tom.
No, the question that I meant to ask before was, we talked right before we went live about the pace at which Lego releases sets across all their properties. As a company, obviously you'd love to be right in there just producing a set like 1-to-1 with Lego. How does your company, how do you approach these sets and decide, hey, maybe this is a kit that's worth building around, worth designing around?
Yeah, I think, prior to the last 6 months or even last year, we would only be, I guess, we would be more, strict on on what type of kits. We wouldn't light every single kit up, because not every kit is, I guess, display worthy or fits our criteria in terms of our market segment and all that kind of thing.
Sure.
We have changed that recently, and that's also, I guess, Lego's strategy has also changed. It's very geared to the adult market now. Almost Lego set is in a black. It's got the 18+ thing rating on it, and I guess that's kind of good for us in a way, because that's who our market is too. Right. It's not so much the kids; it's the adults who are buying and displaying and have that that level of pride in creation and love to display, and also they're investing a lot of money into building Lego. So we used to only pick like your flagship type of sets, like your Millennium Falcons or your Cantinas, or your big sets, and not so much your smaller, like your Meditation Chamber or your helmets. But right now we've changed the way we do things. We've grown our design team, and now we're basically trying to light almost every, I guess, 18+ type set we can, and give the customers a bigger, wider offering, because at the end of the day, there's we have to stay ahead of the game. We have to always improve and give customers more, basically. So nowadays it's a no-brainer that most of the sets that come out, especially the Star Wars related, we'll get a light kit for. And because Lego is releasing so many sets and getting so many out there, it's just a matter of getting on and buying the set as soon as it comes out and building it and getting right into the design. The only times a light kit might get delayed is if we're, designing a custom component, whether it's like a gun effects board or a certain pulse or something like that it needs. That's the only time it'll probably delay our release. But we're trying to get our products out there as soon as possible because, when customers or Lego customers buy a Lego set, they're on a hype. They're building it, they're really into it, and they want to put lights. So we want to, I guess, give them lights to buy straight away.
Sure. Kenny, when you guys are developing kits, take us through the process. How long does it take to develop a kit for something brand new? So something new hits the shelves, you guys pick it up and get it in-house, and of course you guys put it together and play with it, and then you guys get a light kit made. So what's that process like of making that light kit?
So after we build and play with it, which could be a long time, we're looking what does it need. So it's always different. It can be a fairly quick process, or it can be a long process depending on the build, what we're working with, the type of pieces that it's used to construct a certain laser cannon, for example. So something like a helmet, it's fairly quick and simple. We just look at what it needs. Like I mentioned before, we don't want the light to be the focus, but it's more to enhance the set. We're not going to put a bunch of blue flashing lights or disco lights on a Darth Vader helmet. That doesn't make sense. We look at what does it need. So a lot of it is to, I guess, when I say enhance it, it's about spotlighting. We do that. That's a common technique we use. So something like the Vader helmet, it's very simple. It's just what looks good. So we'll experiment with, different colored or different brightness of spotlights, get some red in there, get some cool white lighting to kind of resemble, him with the saber going through, Imperial Corridor.
I'm going to pull up the website while you're talking. You can continue, but because that's one of the things on the website, I want to go ahead and let people see that while you're.
Like that is fairly quick. I guess the lighting part of it and the design is one thing, but it's also the instructions, which we take a lot of time, and that's what because we want to make the whole user experience as good as possible, and that involves like taking high quality photos, making the steps are really easy to follow. We've all, over the years, we've definitely improved the way we create the instructions, and we find that that's the difficult part. Another difficult part is actually deciding where to conceal the wiring. Smaller sets are more difficult than larger sets. You've got like a tiny little helmet or versus a big UCS Falcon where you've got heaps of, I guess, free space to route wires and conceal expansion boards and all that kind of thing. So, a light kit can take anywhere from a day to design, and then maybe a week to create instructions for, to up to a week to design and a couple of weeks to write instructions for. There's instructions, and there's the quality and the proofreading and checking, so they could take a couple of revisions. And then there's the actual production of the light kit. So everything is done in Australia. So we can, if we have a VIP access to a Lego set a couple of weeks earlier, if we're lucky, we can get that available on the market within a 4-week period. So yeah.
Wow. Pretty fast. So for listeners that don't know, on these builds, do you guys design these to be built as you're building the set for the first time, or are these meant to be built, you build the set and then you add lights to it afterward? What's the process you guys kind of go by?
Gosh, I got to get that Razor Crest.
Yeah, it's always designed with the Lego set completely built. Because a lot of our customers have already got these built and they're sitting on the shelves and they're thinking, how do I make it cooler? So all of our instructions have been designed with the Lego set in mind. So, it's just a matter of following them step by step and removing certain pieces in order to route the wires through and connect and light everything up. It doesn't take I think a lot of people are hesitant to touch their Lego set once it's already been fully built. That's where instructions come in, because we try and make it as easy as possible, basically, and careful as possible, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's and the instructions. They basically you guys walk through the process of taking certain things apart, so you can like run wires through them, or even just simply access them, so you can get the wire situated, and then how to put things back together, where and how to run the wires, and the wires you guys use are like incredibly thin, and they'll actually like you can sandwich them between bricks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like it's amazing. Like there's a lot of ways that you guys are able to hide the wires, which is really cool. And the expansion boards, just kind of going through the cantina, like your power goes in one place, but you have lights all around the entire set. And yeah, it's amazing. And you guys used like some of the existing lights, like, torches and that kind of stuff that were in and around the cantina, but then you guys also added some to the exterior to kind of help light that up a bit, which I thought was really cool. That you guys, I mean, you went past the obvious. The obvious was, hey, there's a light on the wall. Let's actually put an LED in there. But then I'm sure someone probably looked at it and said, wow, well, the inside lights up really well, but there's nothing on the outside. So it's great. I mean, you guys clearly put a lot of thought into these things. And yeah, I mean, they're just little tiny LEDs, and you're fishing them through Lego pieces. And you guys even provide, you might do it with all sets or maybe just some sets, like a handful of special pieces that maybe you have to run a wire through something, and what came with the Lego set isn't designed for that. So you guys are able to provide the pieces and parts needed to facilitate that.
Yeah, basically, it's like I mentioned earlier. We try and avoid changing the aesthetics or the original model, but there are some areas where it could be like a flat tile, which we can't have an LED under. So, we provide the plates to switch them out to allow that LED to be installed underneath that piece, as well as extra pieces to, like I mentioned before, to build like some kind of spotlight that can be attached to an exterior pole or something to be able to shine and really bring out the rest of the light kit.
Do you have a favorite build you've done so far?
Ooh, a particular Star Wars one?
Just for you, like personally, your favorite.
Well, it used to be the UCS Falcon, but I actually built the A-Wing. Not the A-Wing, sorry, my bad. The Republic gunship, which just got released, and that is a fantastic build. It's a really, I always loved the Republic gunship anyway, just through the Clone Wars and episode, I think it was episode 2 was. So I've always been fascinated about that and waiting for them to release that. But that was a really enjoyable set, not to build, but I was involved in the lighting process for that too. And it's a very new kit. I don't know if it's on that website, but that's probably my favorite. If you search up, you might have to search a Republic. We haven't, I guess, showcased it yet.
There we go, Republic gunship.
Yeah, we haven't showcased it yet, but yeah, it is available, and that's a very new set that's just come out.
That looks nice.
And that's a great example of, I think, the attention to detail that is present across the sets, because I look at a set like that, and it would have been easy. I mean, you mentioned, hey, we're not going to just throw lights on there to throw lights on there. But like in the troop hold there, the red light, right? So you think about the Clone Wars movie where they're flying into battle with the red light there, and then in the Siege of Mandalore episodes, they're under red light. I mean, it enhances. Not that you're going to pull the UCS set off and fly it around, as tempting as that is, but it makes it
do
look
that
like
with my
something
ships,
that jumps.
Like,
be very careful, Eric. But no, it enhances. I mean, it feels like something authentic, as opposed to something you just bought a kit for. And I think that's, to me, that's what really sets you guys apart is that sort of dedication to the same level of detail that I think the original designers are looking at when they're designing the actual model itself.
Now,
So That's a credit to you and your team.
Speaking of detail, I didn't catch this before, but you include lights for the minifig lightsabers in some of these?
Yeah, we how can you not light up a lightsaber?
I mean, right? That's the whole point of it being a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's like, so, you know, that was one of the first things we wanted to light up in terms of Star Wars sets, because, you know, lightsabers is one of the most people's favorite things, you know? So, yeah, for that set, it comes with Mace Windu, and he has a purple lightsaber, actually. But, you know, when you light up the purple, it doesn't look as good as it does in the movies. So we switched it out to a pink, a dark, you know, trans pink colored lightsaber bar. Yeah. And so when you turn that on, it just looks, you know, like Mace Windu's lightsaber's coming alive.
That is awesome. I tell you what, like I said, I've got three different things still in the boxes that you guys make light sets for. Normally, I use super glue to make sure. I had a UCS tie interceptor years ago. And after about 3 or 4 moves, I was losing pieces, and it's gone. And I said, never again. So then I started super gluing everything. Like I've got the Ghost, which is also some of those pieces came off. And Craggle, yeah, if you remember the Lego movie. And now I'm thinking I'm never going to do that again, because I don't think I'm going to do more of these without getting the kit for it too. And if you said that they're designed to be put in after it's basically been built, which would seem like it would be the easier way to do it. Yeah, I guess I don't have to worry about the super glue anymore, which is actually kind of nice, because that was kind of a pain. So this is awesome.
You're the reformed president business.
You're right.
In our chat in the stream, Mediocre Modeler asked a really good question. Is there soldering involved? And Kenny, I'll throw it to you to answer that.
I'm still not used to the word soldering, because in Australia we say soldering.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go. Fun fact. No, all of our kits are completely plug and play. So, you know, there is, like I said, no, I guess, electronics experience required, no electronic tools you need. Everything is designed to be a plug and play modular type system. And so although we have got set specific instructions for all of our light sets, like I said, they're completely modular. So it means you can actually, I guess, add to it or change or modify the light kit. We find a lot of our customers will buy a light kit and get used to how to use our components. And then, you know, these diehard Lego fanatics that have crazy, massive Lego cities or heaps of different, you know, sets that they can, you know, once they get used to using our system, that they buy individual components and do things themselves in terms of lighting. Nice. You know, for whatever reason, you know, you know, we will light the Lego set how we feel it looks the best. But, you know, everyone has different tastes. So they could, for example, not want to light the inside of that Republic gunship. They might want to basically disconnect that red light or add a warm white light or cool white light. It's up to them. So no soldering or soldering involved at all. It's just plug and play.
Nice.
Awesome.
Unless they break a wire and then want to fix it themselves, and yeah, they can do that.
There you go.
So I know we're running a little bit long here, but I wanted to ask you, are there things that are coming down the pipe that you're allowed to talk about? Anything coming up soon?
Eric, he's the owner.
I know, but that's why he makes the tough decisions. And he might not be wanting to yet.
There are plenty of things that are happening. There's always things happening at Light My Bricks. We're a company that is always focused on improving and getting better at what we do. We're never, I guess, complacent in terms of, let's just create some lights and then use the same lights to create new light kits. You know, that's not what it's about. For us, it's all about how do we get better? How do we give our customers, you know, more and better products? So plenty happening, especially for 2022. More products coming out, more improved products coming out. I guess that's as much as I can say.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's fair. Hey, I've still got catching up to do on the products that are already available right now. So
But one product we can probably talk about is we had a lot of success with it wasn't so much a light kit, but we had minifigure display frames. I don't know if you saw that. And I guess that caters to a slightly different market, and there are diehard Lego minifigure collectors out there, especially Star Wars. There's just so many out there, and there are, I guess, Lego display cases, but again, it's one of those things where the wives or the partners won't allow their husbands or partners to bring out of the basement. So we went through a run of what we call figure display frames, and they were, I guess, they were more modern looking and more styled that way, and integrated with our lighting system. They had lights, and they had integrating systems for lightsabers. So we sold it out of them very quickly, and then we wanted to make it even better. So we have a new and improved one coming out in early 2022. So that's something I'm really excited about. We don't have any photos or any images or anything like that, but it's just 100% better than what we ever released in the past, and I can't wait to release that. So that's, I guess, something very detailed.
That's cool.
That I can share.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I also want to say that we're talking Star Wars here, but you guys have a lot of kits for other Lego sets as well. I was looking through, and I've been on the fence about buying a couple other sets. One of them was that Ford Mustang set, and I'm like, oh, he's got a kit for that, and it lights up. It looks so good. But all the NASA stuff out there, and the Harry Potter stuff. You get some fantastic kits for stuff that's non-Star Wars too. So
yeah. I mean, there's like Lego catalog caters to so many different people. Car enthusiasts, Harry Potter fans, NASA fans, so we try and do our best to enhance every single Lego set possible.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Kenny while we've got him here?
Where can people find information on your stuff? Where can they buy the stuff? Is it just from your website? Do you guys have resellers? Basically, where can people find you?
Yeah, primarily it is our website, and we cater to globally. We have a dedicated US distribution center and website, which is the lightmybricks.com. For others in Europe, we have a Europe store and warehouse in the Netherlands, which we ship within or throughout Europe, Australia as well. So primarily that's the first point, but we also do have retailers and partners that's stock our products. So you can have a look at our website and have a look at who's all our international stockists and buy from them as well.
Cool. So when we order stuff here in the U.S., it's actually coming from a U.S. distribution center, so we're not paying international shipping and all that kind of stuff. That makes it a lot easier and a lot faster probably to actually arrive too. So
yeah. I mean, we ship. It's from our distribution centers in Texas.
Oh, okay, so about right in the middle. East to west wise. That's actually pretty good.
Yep. So within a week, definitely you'll get your product if you order from it.
Cool.
Great.
All right. So once again, that is here in the US anyway, that is lightmybricks.com. There's some awesome looking stuff there. I highly recommend you go to the website and you click through, and I'm seeing stuff for sets I already own, but it's making me want to buy sets that I don't own that I wasn't going to buy because they look so much cooler now with the lighting stuff. This is great stuff. And the one thing you kept saying, Kenny, that I love, I don't have to be particularly skilled in order to make this stuff look good. I mean, just the following instructions, the ending up with the final build, which is already rewarding in itself. Like you said, there's something kind of cathartic about going through and following the instructions. And then you end up with this really, really cool looking build because the Lego stuff is really cool. But then if you can enhance it on top of that and make it a true display piece, it's just so much better. So
so much better.
Yeah. So
it will make all the other Lego sets look really dull.
That I believe.
The other sets will get jealous. And then you're just going to have to buy more light
those kits too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how this rolls.
All right. Well, Kenny, thank you so much for being here with us and kind of going over this stuff for us. I got to say, I'm pretty excited about this. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I may have ordered while somebody else was asking a question. I can neither confirm
that doesn't surprise
nor deny.
I didn't want to put my credit card information in on the stream here, but you know. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Force Chatter. We will be back next week with more content. So until then, take care.